And there are lots of young talent in all kinds of sports.
Now, I'll give you an example. Regina George, this little girl, 21-year-old that is based in the United States, this was her first Olympics. And she got to the semifinals of the 400 meters. That girl, in another 4 years, will be 23. And I can put my money on Regina George that if we build on her and begin to invest on her, give her scholarship and all that, in Rio, she will begin to perform wonders. Omotala Omolara, if you look at her, Omotosho Omolara, she got to the semi-finals too. These are athletes that we should invest on. But you discover that the state will abandon them. Look at Bayana. Every mother of every Bayana player was flown to South Africa by the state. But our own Gloria Asumunu, the mother flew all the way from the United States, and the NOC could not even give her a ticket to come into the stadium.
Well, if you
and
look
these are the same athletes that you are expecting the best from. Japan.
But we'll have to wake up to that stark reality, because time and again we see athletes who, Gloria Nozier, we have Francis Obikwelu.
At the end of the day, they abandon this country and begin to run for other countries.
So many of them.
Look at Mo Farah, the new face of the Olympics for Britain. Mo Farah is ordinarily from Somalia. I am sure that if he was in that godforsaken country called Somalia, he will not be he cannot do what he did for Britain. But because he's in a society where they've invested on him, Mo Farah won the 500 meters and then won the 10,000 meters, and he is a legend. Look at Usain Bolt. Look at Nicola Adams. Nicola Adams started boxing at the age of 12. And today, she is a world champion. Our own Edith Ogoke, it was praises galore for her.
Well, we'll come back to the government, but for the corporate establishments now, is it that they don't see any reason, or what holds them back? What's the impediment to corporate establishments focusing on picking athletes and developing them?
It is still the Nigerian factor. The corporate bodies here wait until when an athlete has achieved, and then they begin to celebrate such athletes. But the truth is that for you to make an athlete achieve, you have to invest on that athlete. It is only when you invest on the athlete that you now begin to celebrate. Look at Chioma Ajunwa. Let's go back to Atlanta 96. Chioma Ajunwa, nobody put anything on her. The state abandoned her. Everybody abandoned her. Except for the good man called Segun Odegbami. Odegbami picked up Chioma Ajunwa, gave her all the encouragement, and with some support from IGI. Credit must go to them. At the end of the day, Chioma Ajunwa did what she did, and we were all celebrating Chioma. But let me tell you, if not for the role played by Segun Odegbami, go and ask Chioma, she's alive. She couldn't have achieved what she achieved. So you just have to invest on these athletes. If you don't invest on them, so corporate bodies were pledging that they were going to give X and X amount of money to Nigerian Olympians who win gold, silver, and bronze. But how do you now how do they win the thing when you have not? It's like putting the cart before the horse. You must invest on these athletes. I've given you the case of Holiday Inn. How many hospitality industries in Nigeria are ready to employ one Nigerian athlete now? And say, okay, this athlete will give you employment, and then you have all the comfort and begin to train ahead of Rio 2016.
That means society has to start focusing on the right things, not just about how much money you make or how much money you steal.
We are talking of putting how much we spent at the Olympics. It is in the public domain. What the National Sports Commission, for instance, got for the Olympics is 1.9 billion, both for Olympics and Paralympics. When was this money released? Just 2 weeks to the Olympics.
2 weeks to the Olympics.
Of course. So how do you now prepare these athletes when you are releasing money for the same Olympics 2 weeks to the games because of budget and all that? It won't work. It will not just work. We just have to, when others were preparing, we are busy sleeping.
But
there's no magic to it. There's no shortcut to winning medals at the biggest stage. See, you can achieve some result at the All Africa Games level. You can manage to win at the Commonwealth level. At the All Africa Games, we came third. At the Commonwealth level, we came 10th, which is not too bad. We are not far from the top. But when you talk of the biggest stage, like you talk about the Olympics, we can actually
be at the top in some of those games.
Of course, if we do the right things, we'll be at the top. We'll have the talents. Nigerians are doing it for other country. There is no country There's hardly any country that came to the Olympics that had no Nigerian blood running in them.
And there's a roll call of them.
Of course.
Everywhere.
You can imagine that. Idowu Phillips did it he had injury. Ordinarily, if not for his injury, he would have won something for Britain in the jumps. Look at Andre Iguodala, the basketballer for US. They are all there. Look at Christine Ohorogu, 4x400 meters. These are Nigerians doing it for other countries. And we've had so many of them who did it even before now. Gloria Lozier had to abandon this country and go out to run for Portugal.
Do you get a sense that the authorities think that that's fire on the mountain and so they need to do something?
We need to do something.
Do they recognize that?
Chamberlain, look at now. I'll give you an example. Britain has just done well. They've achieved their best result in 108 years at the Olympics at home. And they are celebrating it. At the end of the day, the government said, we now begin to plan for Rio 2016 because whatever we achieved here at home will look as if it is home advantage factor that made Britain to come to the third position, winning as much as 25 gold medals. Ahead of the Olympics, they said they spent £500 million on their athletes. Wow. And now the Prime Minister, Cameron, has given instruction that the National Lottery should invest £125 million every year run up to Rio 2016.
Do we have any such program here?
We have. But what are we doing with our own? I am a journalist and I did my investigations.
Tell us about it.
As I speak with you now, the National Lottery Fund is lying somewhere in Abuja. Nobody is talking about using the money for public good, which is supposed to be meant for. We have over 20 billion naira from National Lottery, which nobody is assessing for anything. If we put part of that, we will be able to develop facilities. We're not saying that, look at the facilities we have. Abuja's National Stadium is not even playable.